So for my design model this week, I chose to start with this process of classroom instruction. And as you can see, I've really thought of this sort of in this sort of iterative manner as an ongoing process, an ongoing cycle, so that as we go around this cycle, then we sort of start over again and move on. So we start with activating existing knowledge, and this is from the sort of Merrill model, making sure that we're connecting our material to our learners' lives, making sure that we're drawing on their previous experience in order to make it meaningful to them so that they can really connect to the material that we're trying to present them with now. And at that point, we're going to present the new material, which hopefully is a logical outgrowth of that previous experience, again, to sort of provide them with some sort of a foundation to connect the new knowledge to. Demonstrating the new skill, explaining it, making sure that the students understand exactly what it is that they're supposed to be doing. Then we move on to the learner application of the skill. So learners are going to perform the skill. Teachers are going to provide feedback. We're going to try and find ways to encourage students to apply this skill to their own lives, which again, if we're using something that's actually applicable to their lives or actually a real-world scenario, it should be pretty easy to encourage them to do that outside the classroom. Of course, we need to evaluate, make sure that we know how our learners are doing, provide additional instruction if we need to, and so on and so forth. And then finally, from the Gagne model, we're going to enhance students' retention of that material by providing connections to other knowledge and by encouraging independent practice. And so this idea where we provide connections to other knowledge leads us sort of back through the rest of this process and back to the beginning, because as we connect this to other concepts, we also are using it to lay the foundation for the next concept that we're teaching. So again, this becomes an iterative cycle. It becomes an ongoing process of classroom instruction. But I think that this process of classroom instruction that we're also familiar with is really just one part of this larger concept of instructional design. So it becomes the application piece of the larger instructional design process, which sort of is set up kind of similar, but with a couple of differences. So we're going to begin again with prior knowledge, activating prior knowledge from the Dick and Carey model. Who are our students? What's the context of the course? What do our students already know? What skills do they already have? How can we connect things to their lives based on what their lives are? So we need to know all of these things in order to really effectively connect with those students. And now we're going to go backward around the circle this time, sort of implementing this backward design idea, and look at the applications. Look at this connecting to or encouraging retention by connecting to things outside the classroom. So we can gain our students' attention by using real-world problems, by using things that they might actually encounter in their actual lives, focusing on skills rather than knowledge. This is something that I feel is really important, especially today with all of the information technology that we have. Knowledge is something that students can gain on demand in a heartbeat with a device they carry in their pocket. They can find any piece of information that they might need at any time that they might need it. What we need to be teaching them really is how to use that information, the skills that they can use to apply that information in ways that makes it useful for their lives. And again, connecting to those lives as we go forward. Once we've decided what our real-world applications are going to be, then we can think about how we're going to evaluate. What are the goals? Where do we want students to get? What will actually constitute proficiency in these skills that we're trying to teach? What will it look like when students do it right? And once we've determined what it is that we're looking for, then we can think about how we're going to measure that going forward. And then once we know where we're going, then we can think about how to get there. And this is this application piece, this process of classroom instruction, developing the methodology for teaching these concepts that we've decided on in order to get to the goal that we've decided on. We already talked about that part of it. And then finally, once we've developed our methodology, then we can work on training those faculty members who are going to be implementing the course, focusing on the key competencies that they're going to need, making sure, especially for the online forum, that their technical knowledge and their technical skills are where they need to be, and making sure that we've enacted a system to provide ongoing support through the entire course. So that's our larger instructional design model. But even the instructional design model is sort of nested within these larger concepts and these larger ideas. And I've chosen to call this entire design model nested design because I really think that a lot of these things that we need to think about sort of fit into each other so that we sort of see each piece nested within a larger piece, nested within a larger piece. So the concepts that we're looking at for the larger instructional design model are backward design, making sure that we focus on the goals first, making sure that we're always thinking about the applications, that we're always thinking about what it is that we want students to be able to do with these things that we're teaching them, so we make sure that everything we do has value to them. Then we're thinking about also this rapid prototyping, this iterative process from the ADDIE model, making sure that we're using ongoing feedback to refine the process, and learning by doing, making sure that we're teaching the course, and then as we teach the course, we're thinking about how it went, what we can improve, what we can do differently the next time. Every lesson, every unit, every grading period that we teach provides us with more information about how to improve our teaching. And finally, Merrill's concept of integrating learning into the learner's world, making sure that everything we're teaching is relevant, making sure that we're teaching real-world skills in a real-world way so that the students see the value of the instruction that we're giving them, so that they become invested in the things that we're trying to teach them because they understand how those things are going to help them once they get outside the classroom. So again, once we've done those things, that's what sort of informs our instructional design process. And then if you look all the way down into the little circle there, the instructional design process, of course, informs our classroom instruction process as a part of this larger concept. So some of the resources that I used, again, just the different design models that we looked at this week, and trying to take all the different pieces and put them together into something that I thought made sense to me. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next week.